And then I'm going to go into this solo boat by myself into the afterlife. All my riches are going to stay here. All my women and everything else, my cats are going to stay here. No, I believe that they were told and taught how to mummify their bodies to preserve their DNA.
Woo. Come
And
on.
that time in the future,
Come on.
it would be reanimated. It would be reincarnated into a brand new avatar body. And their consciousness will be transferred into that new body, like Thoth talks about in the Emerald Tablets. And they will rise again with their riches and their women and their concubines and their cats and everything else to rule again as a king. And I think that the information or the knowledge of that somehow got twisted or got lost over time, and it became this mummification process. That we're going to go into this afterlife, but not the fact that they were going to come back and rule in this life with that money and with those riches and everything else that they had left behind. And so that's where I think, and this is my own hypothesis based on observation, based on being there in person, and based on using basic logic. I really think that the goal was to reincarnate, like Thoth says in the Emerald Tablets. He says he learned how to incarnate at will. So he's talking about controlling incarnations, not waiting for your spirit to be taken away and then incarnate. And I think that was the ultimate goal.
Just made me think of something, Billy. All right, so this is getting good. This is getting real good. Shout out to everybody. We got about 2,500 people in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the like button and share this show with your friends and family. All right, Billy. So we're talking about reincarnating, leaving this realm. And you're mentioning sci-fi, and the things you're talking about sounds like it's straight out of a movie. Now, what I want to talk to you about right now, Billy, is the idea that at a time in history, and I want to know if this is in any text or anything like that, that we did not have parents. Now, parents, I love my mom. I love my mom in her life. One of the greatest people in the universe to me. But parents can be one of the biggest people to program you against who you are, because they're following the collective consciousness, most of them. So you're coming into this room, you're this great God, and they're telling you all types of weird stuff. You grow up, you confused, you got a complex, you lost and all this and that. Was there a time, Billy, where we did not have parents? Maybe we was born out of a pod or something like that, and our consciousness was way different from what it was now, because that generation did not have to go through the programming and the brainwashing of their parents. They came straight out of pod. They had the shit downloaded to them. Like, is there any evidence of a civilization like that didn't have to go through the parent era like we had to go through? And shout out to all the parents.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
There's no direct evidence that there was an era that existed like that, but I'll tell you because what's going on now, because the past is prologue. In other words, what's happened in the past is going to happen in the future. And whatever we do now, even if we didn't see it in the past, is probably something that's already happened. Okay. And what's going on right now? Right now, in laboratory settings, peer-reviewed science, and anyone can look this up. I can take a skin cell from you, one skin cell from you. I can put it into a culture in a laboratory setting and turn that skin cell into a stem cell. Then I can culture that and turn that stem cell into a group of stem cells. Then I can take that group of stem cells and I can put it into an artificial womb, and I can actually grow a synthetic embryo. Look that up, synthetic embryo. They've been successfully doing this all around the world in laboratories. They claim that they're killing this synthetic embryo when it gets to a certain age.
Right.
But who's really overseeing all these synthetic embryos? I doubt that they're all being killed. Now, they can grow that synthetic embryo to any age that you would like, specify. And then, because of the Avatar project at DARPA and because of the 2045 project coming out of Ray Kurzweil in Russia, they've developed the ability to transfer consciousness into another body. They've been working on this for a long time.
Right.
And where did they get this information, Brother Rich? The Emerald Tablets. The Emerald Tablets talked about this 36,000 years ago. Thoth said he goes down to the halls of Amenti, where I took people to the halls of Amenti just a few weeks ago in ancient Kemet, now known as Egypt. I took them underground to a place where they have the rejuvenation chambers, where the bodies would be inside of them. and they would transfer their mind from one body to another so that they can, according to them, walk amongst men, but unlike a man. So that's ancient knowledge that we're now trying to duplicate today. So you say that we have this situation or this time frame where there weren't parents. If you look up synthetic embryos and the synthetic and the artificial womb laboratories, they're talking about a future where literally thousands of infants will be born from artificial wombs. So there could be a time period coming in the future where this is a reality.
Wow. Yeah, it gets so interesting when you go that route, Billy. And I thought of that question. I said, Billy would be the perfect person to ask this question, man. Because you talking all this sci-fi stuff, and I'm like, I gotta ask this right now. Yeah. I gotta ask this right now. Okay, so Billy, so let me ask you this. Well, let me ask you this before I ask that question. Are you familiar? You did a show. Matter of fact, I want to give a rest in peace. There's a brother named Brother Panic. You actually was on a show with him and Dr. Phil Valentine one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was promoting my book, he passed away.
Oh man,
yeah, he passed away last year. So rest in peace to Brother Panic. And he brought some awesome information to the community that was dealing with the coffin text. And I don't know if you're familiar with the coffin text. There's a white lady. She got an amazing book. I think her name is Judy K. King. And y'all could correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But I think it's Judy K. King. And she had a book called The Isis Thesis. And the coffin texts were basically instructions that were left in the coffins of these pharaohs about how to die and where to go when you die. Avoid the light, go here, go toward the northern lights. It was like some deep instructions when you die. Are you familiar with that? Have you ever read into that?
They're in the Emerald Tablets.
What's your thoughts about the coffin text and the correct way for a human to die?
Well, this information is ancient, and it talks about understanding that once you die, you're going to go get to these gates. And so where the gates of heaven, these white pearly gates that everybody's been talking about since we were, for generations, forget us when we were kids, for generations, have been talking about these gates of heaven where they imagine these white pearly gates, and you get inside these pearly gates and you get to see God and Jesus and everybody and your people are up there. Not exactly the way these ancients talk about it. The gates that they were talking about, Thoth calls it the gate of Arulu. He's talking about a specific way to get there through dimensions, how to achieve this, how to get through this gate. It's like a portal to another place, right? To get to this this Shambhala type of place, where he talks about the codes and the words you even have to utter to create these cymatic frequencies, so that the guard would even let you through the gate. This is like crazy stuff. It's like real sci-fi in these ancient tablets and texts. And the coffin text basically the same thing. Specific directions on how to navigate through space-time, how to access higher dimensions, and how to get to the other side. And so it seems as if the coffin text and the Emerald Tablets are both aligning on that same thing. And Thoth even gives you the exact frequencies you need to utter in order to be able to pass through the gates of Arulu.
Oh man. Yeah, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Yeah, I gotta. Are you familiar with the book Isis Thesis? Have you looked at it yet?